She will get the revenge, and she will get it done this time around. So I'm going to go with the other in 3.
Eala earns it the hard way. From love 3 down first set. Lefty shape, stubborn defense, and smart claycraft to outplay the 31st seed, Wang Xinyu, under the stand.
Something ignited inside her, visible in every movement she made across the court as she elevated her physical intensity to another level entirely. Sprinting tirelessly from corner to corner with the hunger of someone determined to prove a point. Suddenly, Eala started mixing creativity into her aggression, producing beautifully disguised drop shots that caught Wang completely off balance before following them with explosive winners into the open court, shots struck with such confidence and precision that they electrified the crowd and completely transformed the momentum of the match. Eala's resilience throughout the match was nothing short of extraordinary, the kind of relentless determination that elite athletes are remembered for, and with every game her belief only seemed to grow stronger as she fought her way back point by point until she completely flipped the opening set on its head, turning a daunting 3-0 deficit into an incredible 6-4 victory that felt far more significant than a simple comeback on the scoreboard. It was a psychological triumph as much as a physical one, a display of mental toughness that completely shifted the balance of the match because Wang had thrown everything at her in those early moments, dominating with confidence and control, only for Eala to absorb the pressure, survive the storm, and emerge even more dangerous on the other side. That comeback injected her with a level of confidence that cannot be manufactured. And when the second set began, she immediately carried that momentum onto the court with renewed aggression and clear purpose, racing through the opening games to establish a quick lead and place Wang in an unfamiliar position of chasing the match. Eala delivered a performance in Rome that felt far bigger than just another win on the schedule, as she finally earned her long-awaited revenge by defeating Wang Xinyu in straight sets at the Italian Open, shutting down every lingering doubt in the process and making it clear that she had not forgotten the painful loss she suffered in Auckland. This was more than a simple tennis match. It unfolded like a personal reckoning, a battle charged with emotion, resilience, and determination, where Eala stepped onto the court carrying unfinished business and left it having made a powerful statement to the entire tennis world. Yet the beginning of the match suggested a completely different outcome, because Wang stormed out with incredible authority, immediately taking control and breaking through game after game with ruthless efficiency that made everything look effortless. She dictated the tempo from the baseline, commanded the rallies with confidence, and forced Eala into defensive positions that made her appear constantly a step behind, as though she was chasing shadows across the clay. Before the crowd could fully absorb what was happening, Wang had surged to a commanding 3-0 lead in the opening set, instantly bringing back memories of their previous clash in Auckland, the painful 3-set defeat that had clearly remained buried in the back of Eala's mind ever since. In that moment, it looked as though history was preparing to repeat itself once again, with Wang displaying the same cold, methodical dominance that had troubled Eala before, quietly dismantling her opponent point by point without theatrics or unnecessary emotion, just relentless precision and control. But what separates Eala from so many others is her refusal to collapse under pressure. And from the moment she fell behind 3-0, the entire energy of the match began to shift dramatically. Still, Wang refused to disappear quietly, digging deep to rediscover her rhythm and battling her way back into contention until she edged ahead 3-2, creating the sense that the momentum was beginning to swing once more and that the contest might be headed toward a decisive third set. For a brief moment, it appeared as though Wang was preparing to return the favor by mounting the same type of comeback Eala had produced earlier, but Eala had absolutely no intention of surrendering control again. Rather than allowing the pressure to consume her, she elevated her game to another level entirely and unleashed a devastating 4-game surge that completely overwhelmed Wang, transforming a tense and uncertain moment into a commanding statement of dominance as she closed out the second set and sealed the match in straight sets with authority. With that victory, the revenge story that had been hanging over this tournament was finally complete, and Eala advanced to the next round of the Italian Open, carrying far more than just another win on her record. The importance of this result stretches far beyond a second-round match on clay, because the entire narrative surrounding Eala entering this contest revolved around her painful Auckland defeat to Wang, a loss that had lingered in the minds of fans and analysts alike. Many believed she possessed the talent and weapons to turn the tables this time. But had she fallen short again against the same opponent under similar circumstances, the emotional and psychological damage could have been massive, especially with an even greater challenge looming ahead. Instead, Eala rose to the occasion, conquered the obstacle standing in front of her, and now heads into a blockbuster showdown against world number 2 Elena Rybakina, carrying tremendous momentum and belief. And that upcoming clash is enormous, because Rybakina has been playing at an absolutely terrifying level throughout the season, arguably looking stronger than anyone else in the top 4. Her campaign has already included capturing the Australian Open title after defeating Aryna Sabalenka in the final, a result that alone demonstrated the incredible form she has been in, and she continued that dominance by reaching the final of the BNP Paribas Open before making a deep semifinal run in Miami. When the tour transitioned to clay, her momentum never slowed, as she powered her way to the Stuttgart title with a victory over Marta Kostyuk in the final, proving that her brilliance extends seamlessly across every surface. Although Rybakina's impressive run this season did include a setback in Madrid, where she was eliminated in the 4th round by Anastasia Potapova, that single defeat does little to diminish the reality that she has been one of the most dominant and informed players outside the very top tier of the rankings, which means Alex Eala will need to produce the absolute best tennis of her young career if she wants to seriously challenge her in Rome. Yet what makes Eala supporters believe this upset could actually happen is the powerful influence quietly shaping her development behind the scenes, a connection tied directly to the legacy of Rafael Nadal himself. Eala has openly shared that she has been receiving guidance from Nadal's camp, working closely on improving her clay court game, refining her movement, strengthening her physical preparation, and learning how to consistently compete at the highest level on the surface. That kind of mentorship carries enormous value because it comes from the greatest clay court player the sport has ever seen, the undisputed king of clay, whose understanding of movement, endurance, tactics, and mental toughness on this surface is unmatched in tennis history. And the impact of that relationship is already becoming visible in Eala's evolution as a player, transforming her from someone who looked uncertain at the beginning of the clay season into a far more polished, intelligent, and complete competitor on dirt. Her movement now appears smoother and more confident, her shot selection far more calculated, and her tactical awareness significantly sharper, all signs of the wisdom and experience being passed down through that Nadal connection. If there were still doubts about Eala's ability to rise to major occasions, her growing resume already provides more than enough evidence to silence them, because despite her young age, she has already built an extraordinary collection of victories against elite opposition. Last season, she announced herself to the tennis world by defeating Iga Swiatek when the Polish star was ranked world number 2, a breakthrough result that immediately signaled her immense potential. But that was not an isolated moment either, because Eala has continued to collect major wins against some of the biggest names in women's tennis, including Jasmine Paolini, Coco Gauff, and Madison Keys, proving repeatedly that pressure and spotlight only seem to elevate her game rather than intimidate her. She embraces the biggest stages, thrives in emotionally charged battles, and continues to show a level of fearlessness rarely seen from someone at her stage of development. Now, after walking off the court in Rome with one of the most emotionally satisfying revenge victories of her career against Wang Xinyu, she heads toward an enormous challenge against Rybakina, with momentum, confidence, and belief surging through her game. The task ahead is undeniably massive. The stakes could hardly be higher, and standing across the net will be one of the most dangerous power players on the entire tour. But if Eala's latest performance proved anything, it is that she refuses to shy away from adversity. She attacks challenges head-on, competes even harder when the pressure rises, and somehow continues finding ways to overcome obstacles that many thought were beyond her reach. Watching someone this young accomplish these kinds of feats already feels like witnessing the early stages of something truly historic unfolding in real time. And now the spotlight turns to the fans and the tennis world because the debate is only beginning. Does Alex Ayala have enough to shock Rybakina and pull off one of the biggest upsets of the tournament? Or is the world number 2 simply too powerful and too experienced at this stage? Can the clay court growth inspired by Nadal's influence create enough problems for one of the fiercest servers and cleanest ball strikers in the game? And could the emotional boost from finally securing revenge against Wang become the psychological fuel that drives Ayala even deeper into the tournament? The excitement surrounding her journey is growing rapidly, and supporters everywhere are already beginning to predict whether this remarkable run in Rome still has another unforgettable chapter left to be written.